This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV.
This isn't about last night or what happened after dark. This is about the middle of the day moments where something small turns nuclear before you even finish your coffee.
One sentence, one reaction, one emotional spark, and suddenly the whole situation is on fire. Welcome to Freak Out Friday on Ask a Bee, because this one didn't just escalate, it got out of hand real fast.
A boss be rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited, from the gravel road to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling, when she hits go live, everybody feels it.
All right. It is Friday. You know what that means. Crazy chaos freak outs. Come on now. Yeah, I'm so not prepared right now. Forgive me. And my light is doing its funky thing again. I'm too bright. Don't wear your sunglasses. There we go. Okay. Now, let's get this started, right? Welcome back to Freak Out Friday, where we take the internet's most unhinged meltdowns, okay, awkward disasters, and boundary-breaking chaos, and we break them down without losing our own sanity. So if you've ever walked into something you can't unsee, had a prank go nuclear, been accused of being dramatic for reacting like a human being, or even found yourself wondering if you are the problem when you're pretty sure you're not, you know what? You're in the right place. Today, we've got biohazard bathroom betrayals, tampon tree level holiday drama, couch-based trauma you can't bleach out of your memory, and a best friend meltdown that hits a little closer to home because, hey, sometimes the freak out isn't funny, it's heavy. And here's what we are here to do. We separate the shock from the disrespect, boundaries from the overreactions, loneliness from manipulation, and genuine mistakes from straight up nonsense. Yeah, freaking out doesn't automatically make you wrong, okay? Reacting doesn't automatically make you toxic. And just because someone says you overreacted doesn't mean you actually did. So grab your snack, brace yourself. Let's get into these stories, because some of these people, they need therapy. Some need a lock on their door, and some just need to stop screaming over sealed cardboard boxes. Oh, yes, it is chaos today. Thank you, Friday. We are here for Friday. All right, let me pull up this first story because we're going crazy today. I promise you, we are. All righty, scoop my booty over. Am I the a-hole for freaking out over my girlfriend's prank? Forgive me, this one's fun. Let's go. Yes, Des. How are you, honey? How are you? All right. So my girlfriend and I have been together around 6 months now. We were sitting on my couch talking when she brings up poop. Yes, I said it. This one is about poop. I'm just going to beat you to it. Yes, this is a literal shitpost, so warning. But anyways, I don't know what brought us to this topic, but it makes me uncomfortable. Well, I wouldn't be talking about it either, I don't think. I'm not one of those people who get grossed out by girls pooping. I just find it gross in general. Amen. I know, right, Des? I found a good one today. Like I do with blood. Okay. So he don't like poop. He don't like blood. That's reasonable. People do that all the time, right? So it's that kind of stuff that puts a disgusting image in my head, and I don't like it. Me either. So I ask her to change the subject. Reasonable. She notices how uncomfortable I am as she teases me about and tries to make it as gross as possible. I excuse myself to go make some snacks as I don't want to hear about her and her pooping habits. Agreed. It was at this time she also got up to go use the bathroom. As I'm making some food in the kitchen, I hear bloody murder coming from the bathroom and spider. I grab my napkin and run to the bathroom, and My girlfriend, pointing to the toilet, she says, "It's under the lid." I open it and it's just her shit. It smelled forking awful. Yes, I'm using forks still. I dropped the napkin and covered my mouth. It honestly felt like I was going to throw up as saliva started to foam in my mouth. Ew. I dry heaved for a couple of minutes. I don't know why my body reacted this badly to that stuff, but it does. She was laughing her ass off, so I told her to get the fork out. She was confused and said I was overreacting. Oh, no, no, you were not. Oh, my God. I told her she didn't respect my boundaries after clearly telling them to her and that it's best she just leave for tonight. She told me to take a damn joke and that she was going to go have fun elsewhere. After an hour of thinking, I'm starting to feel I blew this a bit out of proportion. So, am I the a-hole? No. I'm just going to put it out there now. No, probably not. Look, first of all, what in the biological warfare was that? You told her clearly that the topic made you uncomfortable and you set a boundary. You didn't shame her, okay? You should have, apparently, but you didn't insult her. You just said change the subject. That's reasonable. And instead of respecting that, she doubled down and teased you, escalated it, then staged a full horror scene screaming spider to trigger your panic response. So you would come running only to trick you into opening the toilet and discovering her literal fresh deposit, like some kind of twisted jump scare. That is not a harmless prank. That's disgusting as hell. Oh my gosh. Hi. Hello. Is that 88 Lemon KK? How are you? Happy to have you. All right. That is definitely not a harmless prank. Okay. That is deliberately weaponizing something she knew grossed you out. And I'm sorry, the fact that your body reacted physically with dry heaving isn't drama. That's a real involuntary response. So, no, you're not crazy for freaking out. You reacted to being lied to, is what you did. Set up and humiliated in about 30 seconds flat. Now, telling her to get out escalates things further, obviously. But the bigger issue is she ignored a clear boundary for a laugh. A gross laugh at that. Ew. And if her idea of humor is pushing your discomfort to the extreme just to see you squirm, that's not about poop, my friend. That's about respect, and that's about conversation you actually need to have. A newer one, like, no, don't do it or we're done, you know? You can set ultimatums when you have already set a boundary and then turned around and that boundary was violated in a gross way. Oh my God. All right, y'all know how I do. I got some comments, and these are fun. Now, the first commenter. Yes. This is straight up foul and mean. Poop stuff aside, the original poster, you are not the asshole. And I would reconsider your relationship since A, your girlfriend doesn't respect your boundaries, and B, she thinks making you sick and upset is funny. And C, she finds nothing wrong with either of these behaviors and doubles down when confronted. I agree wholeheartedly. I don't know what else to say. That framed it pretty good for me, I think. Yeah, this is a particularly touchy subject for me too, the second commenter. I feel ya, original poster. I have a similar aversion. It's the biggest reason I never had kids, honestly. And if my partner ever disrespected or mocked me about that, he would no longer be my partner. Amen. Even when I had intestinal issues and poop was the most talked about subject in our house for a while, my husband was respectful and sensitive to my shit aversion the entire time. Well, hey, you know what? Kudos to your husband, honey, because my family has an issue with their stomachs, okay? I have an aunt that I almost lost to the same disease that I have to be very careful of that I have. It's diverticulitis. It's little pockets in your intestines that you can't eat, seeds and, well, stuff that your body doesn't recycle. Whatever you see in your poop in the morning, that's the stuff I can't eat. Because if it gets in those little pockets, it can cause a really bad infection. And, well, colostomy bags are not a fun thing. And I certainly don't want to end up in that situation. If I have to, okay, sure, whatever. Look, I have a frame around my face. That's funny. I forgot to move it back. Anyway. I feel stupid, but that's okay. Listen, third commenter, not the a-hole. You gave her boundaries and she completely disrespected them. Personally, I would have dumped her right then and there. Amen. The fact that you were mature enough to just ask her to leave for a while makes you even less of an asshole. Agreed. Okay, I totally agree. The comments are not playing with her at all. They're saying this wasn't a silly joke. It was mean, plain and simple, because you set a boundary. And this chick, she bulldozed it for entertainment. That's not cool. And definitely pretty freaking immature, if you ask me. Right, Des? I'm telling you, that's pretty crazy. Sorry about the poop story, y'all. I just thought it was funny. And it kind of is. But multiple people are pointing out that in a healthy relationship, partners respect sensitivities, even when they don't personally understand them. And let me tell you something, too, about understanding. Okay? First and foremost, you don't have to agree. That is the best part about any relationship. You don't have to agree. You can agree to disagree. That's the best way to get through it. But you should at least try and understand that situation. And if you don't try that first, then you have no right agreeing or disagreeing or putting your 2 cents in, as far as I'm concerned. If you can't understand the situation in a knowledgeable way, do the research if you've got to, but don't do it otherwise. If you can't have a educated opinion about it, then you really shouldn't open your mouth, right? People don't mock you, okay? They don't escalate things that they do, and they definitely don't double down after seeing a physical reaction. That's the part for me. Even though she knew that was a problem, she did this anyway. And once she realized that, it was making you sick, she was still laughing about it. That's pretty, pardon the pun, but that's rather shitty, don't you think? No, don't pardon the pun. That was good. But still, I mean, the strongest voices, okay, are basically saying you showed restraint by just asking her to leave instead of ending it on the spot. And I'm sorry, but I would have ended it. Let me tell you another little story real quick. I had this rogue hair I just pulled out because it won't stay out of my way. Hopefully it's one of the gray ones. Anyway, my mother, as I grew up, taught me that was something pooping, all that goes in the bathroom and stays in the bathroom. And you know what? There's air freshener in there. Don't bring it out with you, right? So I grew up that way. My grandmother was the same way. I had time with the both of them. And when I raised my children, of course, my boys didn't really give a fork, right? But my daughter understood because she still had my mother and unfortunately me, because yeah, that's embarrassing stuff. You don't do that. I get embarrassed at everything, but you don't do that in the living room while there's your whole family around you or something like that, right? So my daughter had never heard me fart. Okay. I hate that word. She never heard me. And as far as she was concerned, I didn't do that. So she went to her grandmother's for a couple of weeks in Louisiana for a vacation. Just her. The kids, they switched out just one at a time, so there was equal time. I'm going off on a tangent here, sorry. the point I'm trying to make. She was there, sitting in the floor, watching TV, her grandmother sitting behind her. And she thought her grandmother was asleep because she was kind of laying on the couch. And my mother-in-law, she wasn't old or anything. She did have health complications, stuff like that. So usually she'd look back and she was still asleep or something. Wasn't paying attention to her because she's playing on the phone, whatever. Here's the thing though, okay? My daughter is sitting in the front watching these cartoons and she lets one go. And she turns around as gingerly and as cautiously as possible. And I'm giving you the story my mother-in-law gave me. And she looks at her grandmother and she just has this look on her face like she's about to get in trouble. Now, mind you, no, I never got onto my children for farting in front of me, okay? I did try to explain that those things are natural. It's just not something I do in front of people. I thought a double-headed bee. Yeah, I mean, two heads are better than one, right? Nice to see you, Chuck Black. Welcome in. So, listen. Here's the thing. She looks up at my mother-in-law, okay, with this face. And my mother-in-law says to her, "It's okay, honey. What's wrong?" Because she looks like she's about to cry. She said, "I'm sorry." She says, "It's okay. Everybody does it." And then she starts bawling and she tells my mother-in-law, not my mama. So, a hen dirt dauber, huh? Chuck, be nice or you'll have to leave. Thank you. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted, the funny thing about this is that my mother-in-law called me immediately because she couldn't get my child to calm down. Okay, people live in different times with different things that go on, right? So, I don't know. I just find that kind of funny that, you have boundaries and sometimes, oh, well, thank you then, Chuck, if that's true. I don't know much about dirt daubers. I guess my thing is bumblebees. I like bumblebees. They didn't turn out like bumblebees, but they look pretty good. Thanks for the compliment. I appreciate it. Okay. Now, I think the consensus is clear. This isn't about being grossed out. It's about respect. And she failed that test so hard, right? All right, we're going to get up this second story I have for you. I have 4 short ones. I think the 4 is doing good because it gives me a little chance to talk about all that we just read, right? Because believe me, I got to talk about this stuff. That's why I do it. All right, here we go. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law she can leave Christmas dinner when she freaked out over tampons? I love my child. I love my child. Don't forget, she does that. Whose log chain got drowned? Drowned? Log chain. What is a log chain? I don't understand. Log chain. What's that? And drowned? How old are you, honey? Drowned. Okay. So, she's not my sister-in-law yet, but I used it to make the title simpler. She's my boyfriend's brother's girlfriend, but then you say it anyway. I, female 28, have been with my boyfriend, male 32, Ian, for 3 years. We've decided to host a small early Christmas dinner. One of the people invited was his brother, Jake, male 26. Jake asked if he could bring his girlfriend as she was all alone. They've been together for 3 months and we agreed. The more the merrier. His girlfriend, Nevaeh, female 28, seemed a bit timid but lovely. Oh, okay, you're fine. No worries. 46, cool. That's a good age. Not too old, not too young. I remember that age. That was forever ago. Just kidding. I'm only 54. Alrighty. So Nevaeh brought her 8-year-old son that we didn't know was coming. She seemed lovely right until she went to the bathroom. She came out shrieking. Box of my tampons in her hand, literally gasping for air in between her shrieks. Wow. I could barely understand her. Turns out my box of tampons was visible. Duh, it's within reach. Because, hey, I need it monthly. Why should I hide it and then look for it? The worst thing about a small town, everybody has been with each other's wives. I can't even go in Walmart without getting embarrassed or pissed off. You know, I guess I can understand that. I don't live in a small town anymore, but I can understand that. So she was going off about being disgusting. How could I be so shameless to have this in front of a child and other men and so on? I looked at her in disbelief. I couldn't believe she made a scene about a box of tampons. Has she never been in a shop? Anyway, I told her that my tampons stay where they are, but if she's so pressed, she can leave and go home where no tampons are present. Ooh, she turned red, quite literally. Her face was bright pink. Huffing and puffing, she dressed her kid and told Jake to drive her home, which he did. Jake didn't come back, but he called from her house, telling Ian that I was the asshole. I am surprised to hear that Ian, my boyfriend, agreed with him. I thought he would be on my side. We were about to argue, but I decided it wasn't worth it and went to my office to cool down and think this through. Am I the asshole for telling her to leave? Um, it doesn't matter if she's Muslim or not. This is just a story somebody wrote on Reddit. Anyway, okay. The OP has offered the following explanation for why they might be the asshole. My sister-in-law is freaked out about a box of tampons being on display, and I think I might be an asshole because instead of hiding them, I told her she can leave, embarrassing her. Well, maybe she does, Chuck. Maybe she does. And I mean, that's her prerogative. But maybe she shouldn't be in somebody else's house trying to control stuff, you know? If you don't like it, then I think the polite response would be to just put them in the cabinet for her or find if you really have to. If you really, really have to, put one of the towels over it if it bothers you that much, but it's somebody else's house, okay? First of all, we're not about to shame a grown woman for having tampons in her own bathroom, okay? In her own house, at her own Christmas dinner. That is not scandalous. That is biology. And if Nevaeh can walk into a grocery store without fainting in aisle 5, then you know what? She can survive seeing a box on a counter. The fact that she came out shrieking in the middle of your dinner, like she discovered a crime scene. It's not like they were used. And then accused you of being shameless for not hiding menstrual products for men and children. It's not about modesty. It's about her projecting her own discomfort onto you. And you know what? You did not insult her. You did not mock her. You simply said the tampons stay, and if she was uncomfortable, she could leave. You didn't say leave. You told her she could leave. That's a boundary, and it's a difference. It's not an attack. Now, could that have been embarrassing? Sure. But wasn't her screeching like that? I think she was embarrassing herself. The second that she made a public spectacle over a sealed cardboard box, and the bigger issue here is it's not even her reaction. It's that your boyfriend agreed with Jake instead of backing you up in your own home. Yeah. Because if a basic hygiene product causes that much drama in your bathroom, the problem isn't the tampons, it's the mindset. You know that's true. So, comments, of course, you know how I do. First comment: when I had my hysterectomy, there were so many posts in the support groups about what to do with the leftover tampons. I'm sorry, when you have a hysterectomy, you don't use tampons. That's the no-no. Hello, Odin. I was wondering about you. How you doing? I hadn't seen you in a while. The only thing depressing about knowing the future and how the world ends is that absolutely nobody cares beyond their love for idiocracy. You know, Odin, that sounds like something God would say. All right. My favorite was the tampon angels. They could be hung everywhere. And she gave you a link. Okay, so the second commenter, oh my God, invite her to next year's Christmas and have a whole freaking tree done up with tampon ornaments. Amen, sis. Petty revenge. I love it. Oh, the original poster is not the a-hole. Half the world's population uses menstrual products for a very long period of time, or their lives. Did you see a third commenter? Pardon me. Mediocrity, huh? Well, maybe. I don't know nothing about that. I'm just over here reading stories and giving opinions. You're welcome to give your opinions as well about anything you wish. You talk about anything you want to, but I'm going to read my story. So, did you see the tampon snowman earrings? Should make her a pair as a gift. You know what? Guess what? I got something for you. Because, yeah, I had to go to the link. You know I had to go to the link. Come on, guys. Look at this. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a freaking thing. I'm serious. It's a freaking thing. That is a tampon angel on a Christmas tree. There's popcorn. That's a freaking thing. Please tell me who in Christmas's name makes an angel out of a tampon and hangs it on their tree next to the popcorn string that their kids probably made. No, thank you. Drive through. Oh my God. Look, the comments are absolutely feral in the best way, but because instead of hiding tampons, they're saying decorate with them, make tampon angels, build a whole Christmas tree of menstrual ornaments. I said menstrual ornaments, yes. Hand out snowman earrings, sure, as a party favor. And the energy is basically, if she thinks a sealed box is scandalous, wait until she sees arts and crafts season. Oh, wow. You know, I may have to do that. Oh, underneath the humor, okay, the message is clear. Half of the population uses menstrual products for decades, and acting like they're a contraband is outdated nonsense. So the internet has officially voted you're not the villain, not the asshole, and is now recommending festive petty revenge with a hot glue gun. I mean, you can't get any better than that, right? That was a good one. Man. Okay, you guys, little bitty break. I shall return.
She came from the quiet storms, built a fire from the ground, turned a whisper to a warning. Now her voice shakes the town. Every setback was a lesson. Every doubt became a key, unlocking something bigger. That's the rise of Boss B. When the lights go low, her vision hits high. She built a whole damn network off a promise and a try. Every sunrise ain't just a channel, this is BBTV. A boss be rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel roads to the neon dreams, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. She's the queen of the comeback, the storm in the stream, crafting stories out of heartbeats, making visions out of dreams. Got thunder in the hustle, got a voice that cuts clean. Every mic she touches turns the power unseen. So let further spin the numbers, let the views rise slow or fast. Boss beat doesn't measure wins by echoes of the past. This moment is a pivot, this season's history. Bow down to the founder of the BBTV dynasty. Boss be rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel roads to the neon dreams, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. She's got fire in the head, it's got truth in the frame, got a heart that won't retire and a gift you can't name. Every loop, every letter, every dream she sets free, it's a love note to the world sign. Boss beat, and the world keeps watching as the numbers climb, but she's counting all the moments, not the dollar signs. From the late night grind to the daylight scene, she's building something bigger than the algorithm's dream. Boss be rising, BBTV shining, her story's rewriting, a legacy in real time. Boss be rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel roads to the neon dreams, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. BBTV, where the stories breathe. BBTV, where the dreamers believe. Boss be rising, watch her take her place. This is BBTV, this is her grace.
All right, we are back with another story. Check all your responses. I swear I've known you in another life. Anyway, back to it. Got you another story. This one's fun too. I mean, because that's what I do here. Trolls or no trolls, I intend to be B. All right, here we go. Am I the a-hole for freaking the hell out when I saw my parents doing it? Yes. Yes, this is an age-old story. We know it's true. It sucks when you see them. It really does. And I don't mean seeing them. Never mind. Okay, I told my mom that I would hit the gym straight from school, but I got really hungry and decided to come home and eat and then go to the gym. When I came home 3 hours later or earlier than planned, I walked in on my parents doing it. They had a blanket, but it was really awkward. I just shouted, "What the hell, mom and dad?" My mom responded with, "Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. Go to your room and I will come soon." She came into my room to tell me that I should always let her know if I changed my schedule and that it was rude to freak out. I should have apparently just gone to my room and pretended that nothing happened. Edit. They were doing it in the living room on the couch. Okay, parents. I mean, if you're going to do that, you need to make sure he's gone for the weekend, right? Look, first of all, nobody is calmly backing out of a room after accidentally walking into their parents going full National Geographic on the living room couch, right? Absolutely not. You are a human being, not a ninja. Well, you could be a ninja, I guess. You came home early, okay? You were hungry. You did not expect to walk into a surprise adult documentary in the common area of your own house. And yelling, "What the hell," is a reflex, not a calculated attack, right? Now, could you have quietly retreated? Sure. In theory, but that's hindsight wisdom in real time. Your brain short circuited. Mine would have too. Been there, done that. I think everybody's had that moment, okay? Where they walked in on anybody, and parents is 10 times worse. We know that, right? And here's the part that matters. Yes, it's their house, and yes, adults are allowed to have relations. But the living room couch in broad daylight when your kid has access to the home is a bold choice. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, no, you are not some disrespectful monster for reacting in shock. And the idea that you were supposed to just silently moonwalk away like you didn't just witness a core memory event is unrealistic. This is mutual awkwardness, not a crime. Okay, it's not a crime scene. And everyone needs to calm down and maybe lock the door next time. Or, just go to your room. People, be adventurous, but do it when your children are more preoccupied than just the gym. While they're in school is a better option, because I mean, they're not going to come home without you knowing it. This is messed up, y'all, but I love it. Okay, so here's some comments. Yeah, first commenter, "You're the asshole. Oh, brother, not this tired story again." See, it happens to everybody. Info, "How the hell do you think you got here?" That's a good, good comment. It's true, right? Third commenter, "You're the asshole for making a scene, I guess." She's right, though. That's their roof, and they were banging long before you came along. Bold and beautiful here. This Freak Out Friday, y'all. Fourth commenter, "Info, did she come soon?" I love my child. I love my child. I let my child do these for me, right? Okay. Yeah, we're about to have a long boundary talk when I get out of here. Let me tell you. Look, the comments are basically split between eye rolling and biology lessons because one person is tired of the walked in on my parents storyline, which I get. Like I said, we've all done this. Another is reminding you that you exist because of this exact activity. Someone else says you made it dramatic, but also points out it's their house. And they've been doing adult things long before you showed up. And then, of course, there's the one chaotic commenter asking the real question about whether your mom actually came soon. So, yeah, I'm going to giggle. Okay, get over it. So overall, the internet isn't horrified. They're mostly amused and gently reminding you that awkward does not equal injustice. Okay. I think this one's a little bit more serious. I hope it's a little more serious. Oh my God, I'm going to kill my child. Not literally. And pardon me, YouTube, for saying that word. I'm going to unalive her sense of humor. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to feed her. Listen, this ain't cool. She knew this would embarrass me, and that's okay too. Because I guess I need to not be embarrassed if I'm going to talk about this kind of stuff, right? All right, here's the next one. Final one. Good Lord. Am I the a-hole because I caused my friend to freak out on her daughter? Okay, this sounds a little bit less personal. Poop and tampons and relations. Oh my. All right, my 50-year-old female, she's the 50-year-old female best friend who is 60 female, had a kidney transplant a few years ago and suffers with bouts of ill health. She has lost two adult daughters who live, she has two adult daughters who live about 10 minutes away from her, while I live about an hour and a half away in a different town. Yesterday morning, I get a call from my friend freaking out, crying, and telling me repeatedly, I hate you, because she is not feeling well and she's upset that I moved away. She says she is sick and lonely, and of course, I tried to talk her off the ledge. How can I help? Do you need money? Do you want me to drive down? She says she doesn't want anything. She's just feeling sorry for herself. I love my bestie, but she can be stubborn AF as fork when she's in a mood, and literally nothing I suggested would appease her. After shutting down every suggestion I made, we got on the topic of her daughters and their lack of support for their mom. I said something to the effect of, as your friend, it really pisses me off that your girls don't ever visit you or check up on you when you were sick, when you live so close and I am so far. Yeah, same, honey. So I said I worry about you and especially your mental health during COVID. I'm your bestie. I'm allowed to be mad for you. I never said confront them or call them, just that I am angry in her behalf. She calms down. We hang up. Maybe an hour later, I get a screaming demon phone call from her. I did what you said, confronted my daughter, and now I don't have a daughter. I hope you're happy. Wow. I am in shock, totally confused. So I said, I never told you to confront anyone. And if you are calling me to scream at me for trying to help you, then I am hanging up. Click. She hangs up on me. Here's where I might be the asshole. A little later on, she sent me an I'm sorry, but text. I was still pretty angry, and the text was basically blaming me for her fight with her daughter, and she needs a few days. I shot back a text saying, you call me screaming, you hate me because I moved. Literally, nothing I say will appease you. Did I say phone and freak out on your kids? All I did was try and support you, yet somehow I am the asshole here. Time to examine yourself in this situation because I didn't do anything wrong. Her next text was, I alienated everyone I care about today and I take full responsibility. I haven't responded to her text. Does that make me an asshole? No. You didn't cause anything. This is a 60-year-old woman in a health scare, spiraling, looking for somewhere to put her pain. And unfortunately, you were the closest emotional target in that moment. Because first, she calls you crying and saying she hates you for moving, which is not logic. That's loneliness talking. Then you do what a real friend does. You offer solutions, you offer help, you offer presence. And when none of that sticks, you validate her anger about her daughters not checking in, which is normal friend behavior. I have to tell you, I have a friend that she's my best friend, and I've known her for a while now. And well, honestly, there were times where I didn't think that her husband was that good to her, but I was wrong. And I'm thankful I was wrong. So, in a situation like this, I think you should just be thankful that, you're wrong and maybe not react. Isn't that what I always say? So, you know, you didn't script a conversation or confrontation, did you? You said you were allowed to be mad on her behalf. And she took that energy and acted on it impulsively. Then, when it blew up in her face, she needed someone to blame. So she circled back to you. But here's the key, okay? Adults are responsible for their own reactions, especially when they pick up the phone and start a fight. You don't call somebody and say, I hate you, okay? For no reason. Yep, got you, Des. For no reason, though. You don't call somebody and start yelling that you hate them. They had better opportunities in a different place, and that's what they did. You should be happy that they're doing what they wanted to do. And I'm sorry if your health is bad, but honey, it's nobody else's fault. And your children should be there taking care of you. You didn't cause a confrontation. You didn't alienate her daughter or anyone else. You didn't press the dial. And the fact that she later admitted she alienated everyone and took responsibility tells me she knows that too. So, no, you're not the asshole. I don't think there's really an asshole here. No assholes. You set a boundary after being screamed at twice in one day. You are a friend, not a shock absorber for someone else's emotional dysregulation, I guess. I got a few comments on this one too. First comment, not the a-hole. She is using you as an emotional punching bag, and that is not okay. That is exactly what I mean. It's not your fault that she has limited support from her own family. Has she always been like this? Was she always clingy as a friend when you lived in close proximity? If so, stay away from that toxicity. Amen. The OP responded, she hasn't always been like this. Usually she's a really good person. You are right. I do feel like an emotional punching bag through maybe because I am her bestie and she figures I can take it. I am torn. I love her and I know she is lonely, but she refuses to do anything about it. And I feel guilty because if I cut her off, then she really will have nobody. That's a big place to be, isn't it? So the commenter responded, I see. Probably this year is not a good year for your bestie. She lost her close friend, her health, not the best place. Her own daughter rarely checked up with her, and probably suffering from stress associated with the pandemic. However, she should not be transferring all her anger and frustration towards you. Amen. That is the point right there. If you want to approach this situation from a caring perspective and continue to support your bestie, then it's probably best for everyone that you establish firm boundaries. Although she considered your suggestion, it was not your fault that it didn't work out. I agree. Notify her that she cannot be blaming you for any suggestion she takes from you. There you go. Okay, the original poster responds, thank you for some great advice. It hasn't been a good year for her, and she is really lonely. I agree 100%. I need to establish firmer boundaries and let her know that I will still be her friend, but the toxic behavior needs to stop. Amen to that. That's so true. You can love her, understand her loneliness, and still refuse to be her emotional punching bag. Be her bestie. That doesn't mean absorbing misplaced anger, okay? When she's spiraling, illness, stress, and isolation, explain why she's overwhelmed. but they don't make it okay to scream at you or blame you for her choices. The move here isn't cutting her off out of guilt or fear. Okay. It's setting a firm boundary like, I love you, but I won't stay on the phone if I'm being yelled at. And I'm not responsible for what you decide to do after we talk. That protects the friendship instead of slowly poisoning it. And that's what's happening. Okay, another conversation here. Second commenter. I am going with not the a-hole here. Learning how to be chronically disabled is hard. Learning during a pandemic when healthcare is scarce, you are super susceptible, immunocompromised, and you are essentially totally isolated from your sports. It sucks 100% worse. What she needs from you is to be her sounding board. She needs someone who is okay with her yelling and raging about frigging unfair at all this is. She doesn't need advice. All the woo-woos telling her to heal herself with green tea and yoga. Pro tip, volunteer as her hitman for these idiots. However, I like that. I like that a lot. Remind her you can only do this if you maintain your own mental health. So set a timer on the venting. 5 to 10 minutes, let it out and move on. Better for both of you. And make sure you are just listening, no attacking. She knows you are also frustrated with her daughters, but she's the only one allowed to say out loud when they suck. And the original poster, at least understand others' perspectives. Amen. There you go, Des. Exactly. Exactly. So the original poster responded, love this response and thanks. I haven't as of yet contacted her, trying to give her some space. Next time we speak, I will apologize for mentioning the girls, and I will in the future keep my trap shut with regards to them. I will also set a clear boundary about toxic behavior directed at me that is not okay to scream at me that you hate me. Good, good, good. I will also do my best to let her vent, but not rant at me about things I have no control over, and I will attempt to try and be a better listener. And the commenter responded one last time. I did misread and saw she's been dealing with this a few years, but it's still harder with COVID. True. Basically, just reassure her it's totally okay to vent, but set a couple of gentle boundaries. But still, to err is human. Amen. Amen. And she's being human, and if you want to keep her your bestie, honey, you're going to have to compromise in that situation. Maybe tell her, yeah, don't holler at me telling me you hate me. But, I'm upset and this is why. That's the better way to get on the phone. She moved because it's her life. You can't be pissed about that, right? Compassion absolutely matters here. And yes, being chronically ill and isolated during the pandemic is brutal. We all know how that went. But being someone's sounding board does not mean being their emotional casualty. You can let her vent. You can validate that it's unfair and exhausting, but you are not required to absorb screaming or I hate you as part of the deal. The healthiest version of this advice is simple. Listen without fixing. Avoid piling on about her daughters. It's not your business. And set a clear boundary that you'll stay for venting. Not verbal crossfire that keeps you supportive without sacrificing your own mental health, which is the only way this friendship survives long term. And forgive me, my dog may bark any second now. He's over there wanting out the door, and I'm not doing that just yet. I'm not done. Otto, go lay down. No. All right, so that was Freak Out Friday, and you know what? If today proved anything, it's this. Not every freak out is created equal. Sometimes it's a reflex. Sometimes it's a boundary being bulldozed. Sometimes it's loneliness spilling over. And you know what? Sometimes it's just wildly unnecessary chaos in a shared living room. The real takeaway here isn't never react, it's know why you're reacting before you react. Shock happens, embarrassment happens, loneliness happens, but repeated disrespect, that's where we draw the line. If you're going to vent, vent. If you're going to joke, make sure it's funny for everyone. If you're going to set boundaries, stand on them calmly. And if you walk into something you can't unsee, maybe not next time. But also, maybe lock the door if you're the one on the couch. Drop in the comments which story you had you yelling at your screen the loudest. Okay, and as always, remember, we don't panic, we process. We don't absorb nonsense, we address it. And we definitely don't decorate for Christmas with tampons. Y'all, please. I'm serious. Unless we're being petty. Look at this. Do you see this? That's crazy. That's just crazy. Sometimes flatulence, yes. And sometimes tampons on Christmas trees. No, I don't think so. That is crazy talk, y'all. Listen, I will see you next time. Don't forget my little promos. Very human. Yes, you're right. Yeah, you like that one? Did you like the story about my daughter? Because that was funny. I love sharing that story. She hates it, of course, but I love it. All right, I'm out of here, guys. It's my hour. I just want y'all to know I love you. Thank you so much for being here. We are moving on up, and things are going so well. I'm so happy with all my little partner sites that I've been helping out or helping me. You know, Tuber Chat is absolutely amazing, and I still think you need to get over there and see. And the Iron Sharpening Iron Universe, I am just one of many galaxies in this universe, okay? And we are bringing in more. We want you to, so come see us. I love you guys. Y'all please take care today. And Des, get out of the heat, man. It's hot already. Love you.
I want to take a minute to shout out Tuber Chat. If you're a creator who's tired of surface level advice, yet says, and actually wants to understand how YouTube works, that's the space. It's real conversations with real creators who are in the trenches, building channels, testing ideas. No posturing, no gatekeeping, no fake guru energy, just people sharing what's working, what isn't, and why.
If you're serious about growing, learning, and not doing this alone, check out Tuber Chat. The link is in the description. If you're enjoying this show, subscribing is the easiest way to support what's being built here on BBTV. You'll see the join button right next to subscribe. No pressure, no expectations, just an option for people who want to support the channel in a real way. We're live every day at 3 p.m. Central now. And don't worry, we didn't change the heat, just the clock. And if you've got a story you want to share, send it in. Anonymous is always fine.
A boss be rising.